Welcome to Tackle Fanatics TV.
Okay, so we're here today and we're going to be fishing with particles. We're not using any boilie at all, no boilies allowed on this water. So what we're going to do is just use Sonubaits new particle mixes, and we're going around now just baiting a few spots, just tempting the carp in, looking for those little clear areas where they've been feeding and just pepping them up, and then we're going to come around, hopefully get the camera in and see what we can see up. We've got a fish looking interested in the particle. He's coming in now. He's had a few bits off the outside and now he's just really starting to burrow into the middle of the patch. It's only a small patch, only like T-plate size, but he's really enjoying that particle. So in the end we found a spot where the fish were coming in. We put a little bit of feed in, and pretty much within about 10 minutes we got a fish coming in and having a look. We went back to the van and we set up, and using our new outline terminal tackle, all the camouflage stuff, we set up a real nice little rig and just used a couple of pieces of particle out of one of the tubs. No boilies, nothing coloured, no flavour, just as natural as you can get. We've come back and we've popped out just another little scoopful, and we've got that little bit of particle balanced just above the hook with a tiny slither of cork right in the middle of it, and now we're just waiting to see if another fish comes in. Okay, So we managed to bag this lovely little common. It's taken a while. There's a lot of fish been feeding over the patch. A lot have been getting away with it. So I think we'll make a change. We'll shorten the rig down, put a bit more bait in and get it back on there. So I think we can get a take a bit faster than this one took. All welcome all the same though. Okay, so the fish that we've just caught, what a tricky little fish to catch. Not the biggest in the world, but they're real tricky to catch. And we caught him out with this. It's something I've been using a lot through this spring and now into summer when it really comes into its peak. And it's Sonubaits new particles. PVA friendly, all cooked at the same time. This one is cooked hemp and crushed nuts, which is probably my favourite, although they do quite a range, and to be honest, all the ones I've used I've caught on. Now, the thing I like, I said, it's PVA friendly, so that can go straight in a mesh bag, straight in a solid bag and be cast out with your rig. The other thing I like about it is you don't really need any extra hook baits with this. You've got a range of hook baits within your bucket, and that's exactly what we just caught that fish on then. We'll show you how to set that up in a second. It's also got hemp oil in, so it gives off that attraction, bubbles up to the top, and the mixture of seeds, you can see it stuck to my hand there, lovely sticky, the mixture of seeds, particles, bits of nut, bits of hemp, really does turn the carp on. Okay, like I said, I've been using this the Sonubaits particle range all year now, through the spring and now into midsummer, and it just keeps catching and catching for me. But there's a couple of little things I do like to add to it to get the maximum amount of it, and that is pellet. I mean, I'm using the Code Red pellet, and I use it in 2 mils and 4 mils. I like the 2 different sizes because it just, like the particle, it just mixes everything up so the carp don't get used to one thing, one individual item. Like if it was all hemp, or if it was all, say, maize or a 10 mil pellet. The other thing I like to use is this clear pellet oil. I like to put a bit of this in it and just mix it in, because the pellet oil, this clear pellet oil sinks. So it's unlike any other oil. Most oils rise to the top, as you know, but this one sinks and stays by the bait, so it just keeps the flavour down around the particle where the fish are feeding. So it's just simply a squirt of that, and then a couple handfuls of each size pellet. Nothing special, dead simple. Spot it, bag it up, put it in by a scoop, it doesn't really matter. Put it out by a boat, bait boat, it just makes a fantastic bed of bait that I think we've shown you today the carp really do find irresistible. Well, we've gone right down on the length of hook link, almost 2 inches. They were feeding really tightly over the bait, picking up individual grains of particle, and as soon as we got their confidence back, one of the better fish that's in the group has come in and we've got him. Well, we hope we've got him, not quite yet. it's all come right. We've watched this fish feeding on the patch for quite some time. He's really been getting away with it. And a little bit of maize, a little bit of particles, straight out one of the Sonubaits particle buckets. We'll show you what we did in a minute. When we get this fella back, shortened down the rig, made a few tweaks, and got the bite. Right for the cameras. Just what we're after. Okay, so I said I was going to talk about the rig, and especially the rig changes we made to get that take then. We were able to watch the fish in the water, and we hopefully caught most of it on film. And one thing that was quite apparent when we were watching the fish pick up the bait was they were picking up the larger pieces of particle, like the maize and the sunflower seeds individually. What was happening was they were picking it up, and although the other hook link I was using was probably only 4 to 5 inches long, it was just giving them enough space to pick it up, see that something was wrong, and drop it, feel there's something wrong, say. So what we did, basic change, we'd shorten the hook link right down. Now I've come down to that, so literally 1.5 inches with the hook to the end of the bait, say 2 inches. And I took the coating off so it's nice and supple. So when it's that short, I like it supple. And we pop that back on the patch, and we just put a couple of pieces of maize and then a handful of particle around it. And as soon as that fish came in, started feeding on that again, he picked the hook straight up, and he was nailed straight in the bottom lip. So just that little bit of change, being able to watch the fish feed and adapt to the way they're feeding, adapt our rig to the way they're feeding, and we got our bite.
You've been tuned into TFTV. Tackle Fanatics stock an extensive range of tackle and bait from all the leading manufacturers. To check it out, go to www.tacklefanatics.co.uk. Remember, Tackle Fanatics also offer finance to make your tackle purchase more affordable. Tight lines and wet nets from everybody at TFTV.